good morning, church family. If you don't already know me, my name is Brandon, and I have the absolute pleasure of running the worship and media arts departments here at Real Life Church in Galt and in Lodi. Now, I pray that your time of fasting is going well and that you will see clear fruit come from your sacrifice and closeness to our Father. Well, today I'd like to dive into Matthew 28:19, also referred to as the Great Commission. It reads, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit." Now, it is really important to always read every verse in context, so I'd like to take a quick pause before diving into this verse because it starts out with a really important word, therefore, a word that we can very easily skate over and not give a second glance. Therefore, defined is because of this, or for this reason. This doesn't just insinuate that you read before this verse, it demands it. For what reason are we called to go and make disciples? Well, lucky for us, in this verse, the answer is just in the verse right before, and we don't have to go super deep into like the entire chapter. So, this story takes place after the crucifixion, and the 11 disciples are on their way to the mountain in Galilee where Jesus had told them to go, and they find the resurrected Christ there. And in verse 18, which is the verse right before, Jesus says to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go. Because of this, go. For this reason, go and make disciples of all men." This is not just a small ask from our Father, but a supreme command coming directly from all authority from heaven and in earth. Are we listening? Now, now that we've established the importance of this verse, let's talk about the meat. What is a disciple, and how can we make them? Thank goodness we have the best model for this in His Word. Jesus chose His disciples carefully. There were many that followed Him through His time of teaching. Think to the time He fed the 5,000, even though the majority of them came just for the food. He also had a distinct 70 to 72 disciples that were close enough to Him to be sent out to teach. However, He also had His 12. The 12 that He dedicated a huge chunk of His time and efforts into. Out of that 12 would later be the 11 that He would send to therefore go and make disciples of all nations. Now, a disciple is someone who becomes like his or her teacher by living in a servant relationship to him. They learn from and submit to that person's examples and teachings. As we help to make disciples, we're always pointing them to the one they need to follow, Christ. We can do this through many different means. God has gifted each of us with gifts and talents, and how we use those gifts can have a more lasting impact on how we help bring others into a servant relationship with our Father. Thinking both inside and outside of our walls forces us to be creative in how we disciple people. For one, it may look like writing a song that goes over the radio and touches thousands in a way that opens their hearts to God's convictions and changes their lives from that point on. It could be a smile and a hug from a greeter on a Sunday morning that opens up a door to a conversation that later turns into a relationship, that turns into a mentorship that guides that person in need back to their Father. There are countless ways, both creative and logical, to help lead people to the gospel. Just as many ways as there are uniquely gifted, created, and loved sons and daughters of Him. So what is your best and most effective way? In what ways has the one with all authority in heaven and earth commanded you to disciple others? I pray that our Father makes that answer clear to you, and that therefore, because of this, for this reason, you go. Now, I have a few more minutes, so I would like and love to help you if you are asking yourself what your next steps should be. Well, here they are. Go to Grow Track. We host a one-time session at our Galt campus called Grow Track. It is a time of teaching and learning about our church and our mission. It also addresses your personal growth through personality and gifting tests. In this session, you will also be given opportunities to apply what you learn about yourself into ministry. Grow Track is the perfect place to figure out your next steps and get plugged into the body. Our next Grow Track session is Friday the 31st of January at 6 p.m. at our Galt campus. Now, if you're feeling a tug at all, I'm calling you out now. Go, make disciples, and go to Grow Track.